Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024 and welcome to your January MyPath MiniCast. I am your host, Tenecia Waddell-Pyle.
And I am your co-host, John Soderberg. And these are your monthly awareness highlights.
All right, so that's what we have for the month. And remember to just utilize those in the spaces that you're in to create awareness or to create inclusivity for the workspaces that you are in.
Yeah. So the first thing we're going to kind of tackle this year as we're into the new year is something that we're affectionately just calling rumor has it right now. Just came up with that. But often, right, rumors happen in every part of society and in the workplace. And rumors themselves aren't necessarily good or bad. And they can be true and they can be false or they can be partly true. And the best way to work around them is just provide information, right? So there are sometimes rumors, odd as it may be, around the Pathfinder groups and around our DEI efforts. So we want to just make sure we're providing information that is relevant so people have a better understanding and that helps them going forward in how they communicate. So one of the rumors around the Pathfinder groups is about what they really do and what the purpose of them are. And are they really just spaces where people kind of come and air their grievances or have sort of a group therapy session? So we just want to have a conversation around that and so dispel some of that and provide some insight.
Yeah. So the first thing we're just going to talk about is the actual format of the Pathfinder meetings. So the Pathfinder meetings are kind of like parted in three segments. So you have the first part is where you have like your updates and your recaps. So we'll talk about things from last month. We raise awareness about whatever those monthly awareness highlights are, and then get into what is one of the greatest parts of the meeting is our education. Every meeting, no matter which one you go to, has education. So there's education either around the awareness highlights, or there's education about whatever those Pathfinder leaders feel are important topics to talk about. And it is just chock full of information that can help you raise your awareness and just know more about what is going on within the companies, whether there's issues, whether there's topics, whether there's current events, all sorts of things that really try to help educate people. And they always make sure that they provide links in the agenda. So if you check those agendas and you check those notes, you can always find those links. You can always find links to like short videos that they share, to articles that they share, to really, again, provide that education. And also, when we think of content, it is so much content out there for you to also even utilize. So even in your team meetings or different things like that. So say you want to check out any other groups or peruse any of your groups, you know what, I want to add this to our agenda, this educational piece they had. Either you can share the article or you can share that video and create discussion even in your own team meetings about some of the things that were talked about in the Pathfinder groups, even if you don't get to attend. So that's one thing that it is, so education. And then the next piece is open forum. So there's always open forum where after those education pieces happen, there are opportunities to talk, to engage, to provide insights, or to not say anything at all. You can just listen and just kind of absorb what other people are saying. But what it does is that it just really creates that energy to be able to have conversations, just real conversations about real things that are happening to real people in our company, or even the people that we serve, or even within our communities. And all of that energy in turn leads to the main point of these meetings, which is looking at ways that we can make improvements at MyPath. So looking at like whatever topic had came up, whatever issue had came up, whatever things that we were able to talk about, how can we use what we learned today to make sure that we are enhancing our MyPath ecosystem, making improvements, making innovative impacts within our company to really, again, create an ecosystem that provides support and inclusivity for our owners, so our fellow owners, so each other, the people that we serve, and as well as the communities that we touch. So very much so things that are actionable that happens in these groups. And there actually are a lot of things that people have brought to the groups or talked about in groups that we have turned into actual action within MyPath. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it is true. And one of the things we talk a lot about, and Tenecia and I definitely talk about, is these groups do provide that opportunity for everybody to come to the table as an equal, right? So you'll have individuals from all levels of our organization, from the C-suite and our executives to entry-level positions as well. And everybody's truly at the table equally and has an equal voice. Because you have an equal voice, though, doesn't mean you have to be vocal. So one of the things that we hear is, if I come, then I'm going to be expected to participate or to share. And you don't have to. We have people that attend, they're done via Zoom links, and people attend sometimes they don't come on camera. They don't maybe say anything at all, and that's okay, right?
Or
You're not
sometimes they
expected
may want to chime in, they just drop it in the chat.
And they just drop it in the chat. Yeah. So you can participate at whatever level your comfort is the reality of that. But it gives you that place to come together. It's a great way for leaders at our highest level to have really valuable insight and connections into all layers of the organization, and then gives anybody in the organization that opportunity to connect and engage with the leaders in a very different capacity, in a very different way. So those are important, I think, key characteristics of what these groups really can do and can achieve. The other thing with the education piece, it also can count as training, right? And I'm sure, as most of you know, we have training hours we have to get. So being able to do that can also count towards training. And we're looking at different ways going into 2024 to make that better and even easier for individuals to access, to have that education and that training component with it. It is a great just opportunity overall. And it does, as Tenecia mentioned, provide some valuable initiatives. I mean, so when we talk about that open forum, a lot of what we'll focus on is, what do we need to do in the ecosphere of MyPath to make our environment better for individuals? So that is where that comes from. So if I'm going to say rumor is people come and share things and experiences, that's true, right? People do. You don't have to. You're not required to. I take encouragement when people feel that they have enough psychological safety in those groups to share. But ultimately, as Tenecia noted, the motivation is to take that information and make sure that we're steering our organization, our community, and ourselves into the right space. So those things can happen, but those are definitely not the guiding star of the meeting. It is really about that opportunity to connect, to educate, and then to inform our practices going forward.
And to grow. You know, we say that, you know, at MyPath you can grow. So there's a lot of opportunities because you can come in and talk, because you can engage with different leaders, and because you can engage with different owners, which is one of the things that people value most, is their ability to kind of get outside of their own company and be able to connect with people from all companies, which lends the opportunity to be in front of peers, in front of leaders, maybe, hey, there's a role at another company that you may want to transition or grow into. So there's so many different things, so many different benefits that have come out of this. And it's just really is an awesome way to be able to stay connected and tapped into things that are going on with your company. And again, to just bring your voice to the table, or not, or because again, you don't have to say anything, but to also bring to raise that awareness about your experience or experience of others, or what maybe some of the individuals that we are serving may need support in. So just creates a great space for innovation, education, learning, and growth. So
I think one of the coolest things that I've seen our owners do is when they join groups that maybe they identify less with, right? So I think there's sort of a myth out there that if you go to one of these groups, you yourself maybe identify heavily with that group, which is great. We'd love to have you in that space. But we've also seen owners that say, I'm less familiar or even less comfortable in this space because I know the least about it. So I'm joining for that purpose. And that's been super valuable.
That has been.
To watch them and their discussion and them learn and grow as well.
Learning, like people that are curious or want to learn about other spaces has been huge. To really have that opportunity to have those safe conversations or to ask those questions, which they may not have understanding or to learn. Because like we said, it's definitely is a learning space as well. So people get that opportunity to really have a moment where they can connect and get educated, or at least raise their awareness, and then ask questions or talk or process what they're thinking or kind of some of the things that are going on in the group. So that aha moment or that level of awareness has happened for a lot of people as well, even if they don't necessarily identify with that group. So
I always say too, people as an employee-owned company want to look for those opportunities where they have a voice as an owner. And I do say Pathfinder groups are that space, or at least one of those places where you do have a voice as an owner, right? They do take those initiatives on, they take those opportunities, and they speak up and raise their voice. So if you're ever sitting around wondering or kicking yourself or hoping you would have that opportunity, you have that opportunity every month. Third week of the month is Pathfinder week. And there's a space for everyone.
There is.
In whatever group you want to identify with or you want to learn more about, those opportunities do exist for all our employee owners, which only strengthens us and strengthens you. So I think those are great opportunities that we bring.
They are. And if you want to jump in on the communities as well, so that is another component to Pathfinder's meetings, is that we also have Pathfinder communities. So say that you can't necessarily jump into that meeting, those communities that you can find in the Ready app, you can join one, you can join two, or you can join all of them. It's up to you, but it just provides a online space for you to just check in, to learn about, ask questions, share content, share funny memes. Sometimes people do that. Whatever it is, and it's just completely kind of like an internet, chat space, so to say. So that's also available to you as well. So,
and as we wrap this up, as always, where can I find all this info? Those meeting minutes, the links, the communities. Where would I go?
Where would I go? You would go to the Ready app.
Oh, the Ready app.
The Ready app. All right. So that wraps it up. Our first MiniCast of January. Of 2024 of January. Of course, it's the only one of January of 2024, and hopefully we'll see you around.
See ya.
Until then, we'll see you next month.
Bye.